Brilliant.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because we're trying to get past the media bias on organisations like this. The minute they open their mouth,
none of these people listen to that anyway.
We have BBC News here. The only reason why we have to come is because of how bad they are. When you describe this crowd, how are you going to describe them in your news report?
Well, we're going to call them well, what you've labelled yourself, which is an anti-extremist movement.
When your news report comes out on this,
yes,
will you mention the word far right?
If people have labelled it as such, then we have to reflect that.
No, you should report and reflect what you've met and seen today. Have you seen far right demonstrators?
But if people label it as such,
if I label you as a nonce, would you report that you're a nonce? There's no truth in this, is there? What you do is word association, which is what all of your media do against ordinary people. These are all ordinary people who have come out to demonstrate. You will do word association of racism, of far right. You've got ordinary people out demonstrating against terrorism, and you, every time the mainstream media, you brand them, and it's not fair, it's not right, and you know that because you're on this demonstration. So
equally, I'm sure you know where those labels come from. You have, calls for tighter immigration. That is a right-wing rhetoric.
So calls for tighter immigration against Islamic terrorism is a right-wing rhetoric. In fact, the Labour Party said talk about immigration, tighter controls on immigration. Everyone does.
Right.
What do you mean a right-wing rhetoric? How's that a right-wing rhetoric?
Well, people would say that is
so because this group talks about terrorism and talks about controlling borders, that means they're far right.
It's a far right. Yeah, they could be.
This is what you're up against. This is what you're up against. This is BBC. So if someone identifies as wanting to stop Islamic terrorism and controlling your borders, it's far right.
It would be labelled as such.
By people like you.
But if my opinion is absolutely invalid. It's about getting.
You're reporting for the BBC. You're lying for the BBC. You are officially fake news, and you're demonising so many innocent people. Right. You make it impossible for people to talk. You do that. That's who you are. You're here to try and get bad footage. That's why you're here. Right. That's your agenda. You have an agenda.
You're frustrated with the media, from what I take from this.
You have a complete agenda when you come to these demonstrations. And you usually don't even report. If you can't get any bad footage of today, if you can't get violence, you don't report.
Do you think there would be violence today? I mean, it's been peaceful so far.
No, not unless far left demonstrators are allowed to get up and throw things at people, which is what usually happens. So if the police want to stitch the organisation up, which we see time and time again, then we'll see. But you are all part of the problem.